So now we're going to do question 13, 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. So we got the two methods to do. The first one is the cross method. The second one is to use the calculator. So now I'm going to use the cross method to do it first. So the first step, we're going to think about two things times together will give you 2x squared. So first one can be 2x times x. So 2x times x will give you 2x squared. Then now we need to think about what two things times together will give you positive 12. So you need to think about the factors of 12. We have 1 times 12, got 2 times 6, 3 times 4, 4 times 3, 6 times 2, and 12 times 1. So we need to try to write them one by one. So first of all, try 1 and 12. So draw a cross here. Then we can try to think it in our brain. So we have the 2x times 12, which one will give you 24x. This one is already larger than this, so which is going to be wrong. So the first one is wrong. Then we can try the second one. We can try 2 and 6. So 2 and 6. So 2x times 6 will give you 12x. It's already larger than 11x, so which is wrong again. So now we can try 3 times 4, 3 and 4 here. So 2x times 4 will give you 8x. X times 3 will give you 3x. So in this one will give you 11x. So which is actually correct. So we write it again. We try to do 3 and 4. So now we have 3 here, 4 here. So we need to do 2x times 4 will give you 8x. X times 3 will give you 3x. You plus them together will give you 11x. So which is actually the same as the middle one. So now we can say that the 2x plus 3 and the x plus 4 is actually the answer. So we write it down, 2x plus 3 times x plus 4. That's the answer. So if you want to use the calculator to do it, it's also alright. So if you still remember that, we can use the formula 0, 1. So they were asking about what is the meaning of A, what is B, and what is C. So A is actually the number in front of the x squared. So in this time, it's going to be equal to the positive 2. So for the B, it's going to be a number in front of the x. So now this time it's actually equal to the positive 11. And C is actually means the constant, which is the number without attaching to any of the x or x squared. So in this time, it's going to be equal to positive 12. So after you get all of the ABCs, using the calculator to press the formula 0, 1, then A is going to be 2, B is going to be 11, C is going to be 12. So you pressed it, you can get the first number is going to be equal to x equal to negative 1.5. Then you can press your change to fraction. Then we have x is equal to negative 3 over 2. So now we want to change this 2 to this side. So now we have 2x is equal to negative 3. And we don't want the negative 3 on the right hand side. We move it to the left hand side. It's changed to plus. So we have 2x plus 3 as the first factor. And then press the EXE or the equal sign again. Then we have x is equal to negative 4. So we change the left hand side to the change from the right hand side to the left hand side. So change from the negative to positive. So we have x plus 4 as the second factor. So you can see that this x plus 4 times 2x plus 3 is actually the same answer as what we found by using the cross method. So now we can go into do the question 14. So now we have 3x squared minus 25x minus 18. So as again, we can factorize this 3x squared first. We have 3x times x. And this negative 18 is a little bit tricky. So we just do them one by one. So first of all, we can say this is equal to 1 times negative 18, 2 times negative 9, 3 times negative 6. Then we have 6 times negative 3, 9 times negative 2, 18 times negative 1. But still remember that we can still trying to using a negative 1 times 18, negative 2 times 9, negative 3 times 6, negative 6 times 3, and negative 9 times 2. The last one is negative 18 times 1. So we need to try all of these trials to let's see is there any answer that is correct. So if you try the first one, the 1 and negative 18, we write down 1 and negative 18. So if you times them together, we have 3 times negative 18 will give you negative 54x, which is way smaller than negative 25x. So which means that the first one is going to be wrong. So now we can try the second one as well. we have the 2 and the negative 9. So we times using the 3 times the negative 9, we got negative 27x. We're using the x times the 2 will give you 2x. Then you plus them together. The plus and negative, we're going to change to negative. So we have 2x minus 27x. This one will give you negative 25x. So in this case, the negative 25x is actually the same as the middle negative 25x. So our answer is going to be 3x plus 2 times x minus 9. So write it down, 3x plus 2 times x minus 9. So if you want to use your calculator, still using the a is equal to 3, the number in front of the x squared. The b is going to be negative 25 because you need to take out the sign as well. So the number in front of the x is here, so the number in front of the x is going to be negative 25. So we have the c, the constant is going to be negative 18. So using your calculator to press the a is equal to 3, the b is equal to negative 25, the c is equal to negative 18. So you get the first one is equal to x equal to 9. So you move the 9 to the left hand side, you can get x minus 9. So that's the first factor. And then press the exe again, you will have the x is equal to negative 0.666 So this is very ugly, but don't be scared about this. You just press the change to fraction. So you will have x is equal to negative 2 over 3. So now we change all the things to the left hand side to get 3x equal to negative 2, and then move the negative 2 to the left hand side to get 3x plus 2. So now we have x minus 2 and the 3x plus 2 as our answer. You can see it's actually the same as the answer that we found by using the cross method. So now we can try to do the question 15. So question 15 is actually it's not a similar type as question 13 and question 14 because they don't have something squared, isn't it? And there's nothing in common in these 4 terms as well. So in this type of the questions, we need to try to separate them into 2 groups. So first of all, if we put the m plus mn as the first group, and then put the 1 plus n as the second group, then we can try to factorize them one by one. So first of all, we have the m, and the m will be the common factor. So we take out the m as the common factor. If m is taken out by m, which means that we still have a 1 as the factor. So we have a 1 plus the mn taking out the m, so what we left just the n. So 1 plus n as the common factor. So what we on the right hand side, we can still write 1 plus n. So you can see in the second step, we now have a common factor here, which is 1 plus n and 1 plus n. So we can now taking out the 1 plus n as the common factor. After you taking out something, you need to add a bracket as well. So m times 1 plus n, you take out the 1 plus n already, so what we have is just the n. And for the second term, we have the 1 plus n, you're taking out the whole thing, what you left is just the 1. So now we have the 1 plus n times m plus 1. So that's the answer for question 15. So now we need to try to do the question 16. As again, these 4 terms don't have the common factor, so we need to group them into 2. So we can try to write it as at minus bt plus b minus a. So for the first part, we can take out a t as the common factor. So what we left, when you take out at, when you take out a t from at, what you just left is a. So you only have the a left. And after taking out b, after taking out t from bt, what you left is the b. But remember, don't change the sign here. Just keep this negative, and what we left is just the b. So plus the b minus a. So you can see from here that a minus b is similar to b minus a, but they're not exactly the same, isn't it? So if you want to change the a minus b, change it back to b minus a, which means that you can swap them directly, but you need to add a bracket and then change the sign to be negative as well. So this is actually wrong. What is correct is change them directly, but with a negative sign. So I say it again, we can have the b minus a is actually not equal to a minus b. So if you want to change it to be the same, the first step you're going to do is to move it around back to a minus b. But if you want to do this one, you're going to be adding a bracket and then adding a negative sign on the outside. Then the whole thing is going to be true. So which means that the b minus a can be changed to a minus b. But what we're going to do is to change the sign in front of this, change the positive become the negative. So this will make sense. So now we can write down the others. Then now we can say that the a minus b is the common factor. So you can take that out again, a minus b as the common factor. And after you take out the common factor, I give a bracket. So we just write down the t and minus 1. So t minus 1 gonna be the rest. Okay, so that's for the question 16. So now we're going to do the question 17. We have negative 2a squared plus 5a plus 12. So if you see there's a negative number in front of the a squared, the first thing you're going to do is take out the negative, because it's very hard for we to do something with the numbers is negative in front of the squared. So now we take out the negative. We have 2a squared minus 5a minus 12. So every time if you take out the negative, you need to change the 3 signs to be the opposite. So negative change to positive, positive change to negative, and positive change to negative. So now I can use your calculator to do the rest. So we have the a is equal to 2, b is equal to negative 5, c is equal to negative 12. So you can just press it. We have a equal to 2, b is negative 5, c is negative 12. Then we have the x is equal to 4. So we can write as x minus 4 as the first factor. And for the second one, we have x is equal to negative 1.5. You change it to fraction, you got x is equal to negative 3 over 2. Then we have the 2x plus 3. So this 2 is going to be our common factor. But bear in mind that before we are using the x, but now the question is asking into the a. So we just change the x to be a, then it's actually done. So we have a minus 4 and 2a plus 3. So that's the answer for question 17. So now we're going to do question 18. So if something in this format is not the usually A, B, C, isn't it? So first of all, we need to change it to our used to be format. So change it to something x squared plus something x plus something without x. So now we just change it to b. So we have the 28b squared. Remember to give to together move with the front sign. So plus 28b squared minus the 19b plus the 3. So now we can say that the a is equal to 28, the b is equal to negative 19, c is equal to 3. Then we're using the calculator. We can have 28, negative 19, and 3. So now you get a very disgusting answer. The x is equal to 0.428757. So I don't know what's that. But just change it to fraction. Then it's change it to x is equal to 3 over 7. Then you change all the things to the left-hand side. You will get 7x minus 3, isn't it? So that's for our first factor. So if you press it again, we will have 0.25, so x is equal to 0.25. You change it to fraction, you get x is equal to 1 over 4. So you change all of the things to the left-hand side as well. So we have 4x minus 1. So 4x minus 1 is going to be our second fraction. So now we can put this together. As again, before the calculator showing is x, but actually our variable is actually b. So you change the x to be b, then we have 7b minus a and 4b minus 1. So definitely you can still use the cross method to do it, but actually the calculator way will be quicker. Okay, so that's for question 18. So now we're going to factorize 2x squared plus 10x plus 8. So for the first step, before using the calculator, you should to take out the common factor between 2, 10, and 8, because all of these three numbers are even numbered. So you can take out the 2 first, then we have x squared plus 5x plus 4. So now we can say that this is equal to 2 times 2 brackets. So in this question, if the coefficient of the x squared, so the number in front of the x squared is just 1, it's better to just use the cross method. So we have x and x, have 4 and 1. So now we have the x together with the 4x here, we'll plus them together, will give you 5x. So now we can say the answer is x plus 1 and x plus 1. So just write down x plus 4 and x plus 1. So that's the answer for question 19. So for question 20, you can first of all expand it. So 3, 18, 24, there's a common factor of 3. So you can write as 3x times y minus 3 times 6 times x times y plus 3 times 8 times y. So you can say that the 3 is actually the common factor, and also the y is the common factor as well. So first of all, we take out a common factor 3y. And what we left here, 3x times y. Taking out the 3y, what we left just the x squared. And then we stay the negative sign, and then 3 times 6x times y. We take out the 3, take out the y, what we left is just 6x. And similar for the last one, we got this 3 times 8y. We take out the 3, take out the y, what we left just 8. So we plus the 8 as well. So in this one, we can use our cross method again. So as the middle one is the negative sign, so we need to change a positive 8 into 2 negative sign times together as well. So we can try negative 2 and negative 4, and we cross them together, we'll get negative 4x, negative 2x. If you plus them together, you will get negative 6x. It's actually the same as the middle one, negative 6x. So the answer is going to be x minus 2 and x minus 4. So keep the common factor, 3y, then we times x minus 2 times x minus 4. So that's for question 20. So now we can see question 21. So question 21. For the first bit, you can't do anything else, but if you notice that for the second part, you have the 5x minus 5y. So we can say that the 5 is the common factor. So we can take out first, we write down the first bit. So now we can take out the 5, and what we left is just x minus y. So now we can see that the x minus y is actually the common factor as well. So something squared, we just write it again. We can write it as 6 times x minus y times x minus y again, then minus 2 times x minus y plus 5 times x minus y. So now we take out the common factor, x minus y. So we have the x minus y as the common factor, and after you take out the common factor, you write a big bracket. Okay, so now we have the 6x minus y times x minus y. Take out parts of the x minus y. Then what we left is just this 6 bracket x minus y. And then for the 2x minus y, you take out x minus y, what we left is this 2, and keep the front sign, which is negative 2. So similar for the last part, we have the positive 5. So for the next part, we can say this is equal to x minus y times 6 x minus y minus, so what's the next step? Can we write? Negative 2 plus 5 will actually give you positive 3. So it is the end of the answer. If you still can clearly watch it, the 6 and 3, there's actually a common factor of 3. So now you can still take out a common factor of 3. So what we left here, 6 take out 3 is actually what we left is just the 2, right? So we can write it as 2x minus y. And then 3 take out by 3, what we left just 1. So the answer is a little bit complicated for these questions, but if you do them step by step, you can still get the answer. Okay, so next page, last one. So now we can do the question 22. First of all, we need to factorize the z squared plus 8z minus 9. So z squared plus 8z minus 9. So use the cross method. We can try the positive 9 and the negative 1. So now we can have the z is negative z, and we have the 9z here. So if we plus them together, this is equal to 8z. So we compare these two numbers, az is actually the same as the middle number, then we have the z plus 9 and the z minus 1 as our answer. So we have z plus 9 times z minus 1. So for question B, it looks like very hard, b minus 1 squared plus 8 times b minus 1 minus 9. So first of all, we're going to do, the question saying that is to give the hint that the z is equal to b minus 1. So we set this one first. So we let the z is equal to b minus 1. Then we can change this b minus 1 to be z, this b minus 1 to be z as well. So we change it to be z. So now we can write it as z squared plus az minus 9. Then we can use our first part answer to get is equal to z plus 9 times z minus 1. But actually, what is the meaning of z? Z is actually b minus 1, so we just put it back in. So we have the b minus 1 plus 9. Then the z is equal to b minus 1, isn't it? So b minus 1 minus 1 again. So using a calculator, minus 1 plus 9 will give you positive 8. So we have b plus 8 times minus 1 give you minus 2. So we have b minus 2. So that's for question B. Alright, so for 23. So for 23, if you can see that, we can actually, so there are 6 terms here. So actually we have got 1, 2, 3. So actually we have 3x, and we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 y's as well. So you can group the x together. So first of all, you can group the x. So we have a minus b minus 5. And then we can plus, we take out the y as well. So we have b plus 5 minus a. So if you see from here, this is actually the plus a minus b minus 5. But in this question, it's going to be changed to minus a plus 5 plus b. So if you take out a negative, it's going to be the same. So if you take out a negative here, we can change it to x times a minus b minus 5. We take out a negative, change it to negative y. Then we have a minus b minus 5. So now you can say that the a minus b minus 5 as a common factor. Then we can write it as, we take out a common factor, a minus b minus 5. Then we give a bracket. Then what we left is this x and minus y. So we write down x minus y. So the answer for this question is going to be answer B. So for question 25. So in this one, we got something x squared, something x, something without x, right? So we can just using the calculator, a equal to 1, b equal to 5, c equal to negative 6. Then use the calculator, what you're going to get is 1, 5, negative 6. So now you can say that the x is equal to 1, and we have the x is equal to negative 6. So we can try to write it as the x is minus 1, and we have the x plus 6. So just because there's one more y, you can just put it next to the x. So we have the x minus y here, and changing the 6 to become 6y. So the answer is going to be x minus y times x plus 6y. So the answer is going to be A. So for question 24, there's no common factor in the 4 things, but if we group them in 2, what we can have is taking out a u squared, then u cubed taking out u squared, which is going to be u, and then u squared taking out u squared is going to be 1. So now if 5u minus 5, we take out a common factor 5, and then what we left is just u minus 1. So u minus 1 is the common factor, we take it out. Then we just take out the left things, we have the u squared plus 5. So the answer is going to be A. So for the last questions, it is given that the x squared plus bx minus 16 can be factorized into equation where m and n are integers. So what's the following may be the value of b? So first of all, we need to think about the negative 16 here. So negative 16 can be read as m times n, isn't it? And then what we're going to find is just to find out 2 things plus together, which is going to be b. So first of all, negative 16 can be factorized as 1 times negative 16, 2 times negative 8, 4 times negative 4. And we have the 8 times negative 2, 16 times negative 1. So if we plus them together, this one will give you negative 15, which is not in here. 2 minus 8 give you negative 6, still not here. 4 plus negative 4, which is actually 0. So 0 is actually our correct answer, because if you see the rest, this is going to be positive 6, this is going to be positive 15. So none of these are inside our choices. So our answer can only be 0, so it's actually D. So that's for today's quiz solution. So try to do it by yourself again. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. And tomorrow, we have a quiz on a similar topic. Okay?